Okay, so we're live.
Thank you for staying with us. As we're all aware, the governorship elections in Ondo State are taking place in about a week. So preparations are in high gear. The political parties are all putting finishing touches to their plans to win the elections, which will take place next week. And the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has called for a peaceful and credible election. And you will recall also that Peace Pact, the Peace Pact
yesterday.
Has been signed. Not that that means anything from what we have seen from other states. They signed that pact. The elections take place. Even during the elections, we see all kinds of things happening. But we are hoping and praying that this does not happen in Ondo State next week. We have two of the candidates vying to take over Government House next week. With us in the studio this morning, we have Dr. Abbas Mimiko. That's a very familiar name, isn't it? I mean, the last name. He's of the Zenith Labour Party. Good morning.
Good morning, my sisters.
And we also have Honorable Benga Dema of the New Nigeria Party.
People's Party.
New Nigeria People's Party. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
So in my introduction, I said that you were putting finishing touches to your campaign, Honorable. Let me start with you. What exactly does your package look like? What are you offering the people of Ondo State? What are the things that you are putting finishing touches to?
Thank you so much. I thank God for the opportunity to be here. Well, like I said behind the camera, the people of Ondo State, let me say I bring glad tidings to them from the people of Ondo State. Because they were not too happy about the November 3rd episode, the one you called debate. You made it look like those are the two people that the Ondo State could produce. And it was, in fact, they put them in a state of despair. A hopeless situation, as if, could this be our best?
That's why we are here now.
I'm sure. So you must have had the feedback, but they have forgiven you. Because in actual fact, it affected the reputation of channels in Ondo State. As if it was a syndicated debate, and you shut out even the best hand, the best brains in Ondo State. But they said they have forgiven you because you have given us this opportunity again, so that we can tell the people of Ondo State what we are capable of doing, so that they can have informed decision. And that's why I say only candidates should be able to talk.
I'm sure you've been telling them already.
We are telling them.
So this is another opportunity to go.
Available for us. Let the people of Ondo use your media to tell the people of Ondo State what they are going to do.
That's
not
exactly
by
her
proxies.
question.
That was my question.
I said not by proxies. So now back to that. We have a 7-point agenda. Thank God I'm the only person and the only party that has a codified manifesto in this election. And we have reduced it to a 7-point agenda. Free education at all levels, from primary school to university. You will ask me how I want to achieve it later. Free health services. Then we intend to restore the government, the glory of the local governments to them, so that poverty will be removed from the grassroots. Because when the local governments are functioning, they will be able to also meet the needs and the yearnings of the people at the grassroots. Then the youth and women empowerment program we have put in place is to the extent that we should allow our young ones to benefit from their God-given talent. We enhance it. Could it be music in the creative industry? Could it be sports through industrialization? We intend to do that. And we have codified this one. Then we are talking about a functioning city. Because urbanization is also going. Akure is becoming a mega city, for instance. In another 5 or 10 years, Akure will not have farmlands. What are we doing? Or they will not have farmlands as we go on. Or we will not have farmlands. Or Ondo City will not have farmlands. What are we going to do? So we are talking about a functioning city, a sustainable city. So we are also talking about security. We have a Amotekun in place, no doubt. But there's a limit to what our can do under our constitution. But there's no limit to what they can do in terms of detection of crime through technology, prevention of crime through technology, even post-crime activities like having laboratories where you can check DNA and things like that. Those are the things we intend to use to make sure that security in Ondo State is taken for granted because we are going to do it. So those are the 7 points agenda we are saying. And concerning the free education we're talking about, we said we'll do free education at all levels. I can beat my chest.
Honorable, slow down. Let's go through that again, please. Free education.
Yes, free health services, local government autonomy, and giving back to local governments the asset as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yes.
They're having functional cities. Functional and sustainable cities.
That's 4.
The youth and women empowerment programs.
5.
Their security.
6. 1 is missing.
I will remember.
Okay, all right. Yes. Over to you, sir.
Thank you.
What are you offering the people of Ondo State?
Thank you very much. Just to piggyback on what my brother, Barrister Dema, just said, Channels is a reputable organization. You boast 1.4 billion viewers, or views, as the case may be. This organization came to Ondo State and did something that greatly influenced people's opinion of Channels and of the race that we're running. We tried to join the debate. We wrote, we emailed, we sent people who were locked out. Now, it might sound simple. It has deep, far-reaching implications for an organization, a member of the 5th estate of the realm. You are supposed to be the watchdog of democracy and free political enterprise. If you had a syndicated program, a debate that is supposed to be between 2 billionaire candidates, you ought to have made that disclosure. Look, we are only interviewing PDP, APC because they are paying for this. We're not going to let all the other pass. Because I said, ask Shinwo Kimbaloye, where did you get your polls that told you that PDP and APC were leading? In our internal polling, we were leading by at least 55% margin. The 2 candidates you paraded were not even running second. And I say, is it KPMG? What? I don't know how you arrived. And you started displaying their advertisements again and again and again. And we just, thank God for this opportunity. Sister Alera, I appreciate this. I appreciate this opportunity, but this is not a solution to what we are saying. I mean, in order to live up to your reputation as a major credible news organization globally, not just within Nigeria, you still need another debate where you put the candidates in the crucible and let them talk about what they want to do for the people. Now, back to your question. What do I have in mind that I want to be governor? We have these 7 Ks of prosperity. It doesn't mirror my brother's own because we started this idea of 7 Ks of prosperity before any other candidate started talking 7, 7, 7. I don't know what is magical about the figure 7. Our own is grassroots-based. Karije, food security for everyone in Ondo State. Karimu, portable water supplied to every home in Ondo State. Karina, rapid, aggressive, relentless industrialization drive for every citizen of Ondo State and entrepreneurship. Karika, educational opportunities that will be robust, accessible, and of top quality for every citizen. The 5th one is Kanilelona. We are building 20,000 3- and 4-bedroom houses for the poor and the common people of Ondo State based on a 30-year mortgage plan. And we are going to be doing our roads by direct labor and by contract. The 6th one is Kanilera, health services that will be affordable and of quality. Maternal care will be absolutely free. No pregnant woman will need to pay a dime in order to bring a life to life. Children 0 to 6 years in Ondo State, the most critical time of their development, all their medical care will be free. Elderly people 70 years and above, basic medical care free. The young, the able, and the vibrant that are in the working class, robust health insurance policies that will make them be able to afford treatment when they need it. And the last one is Kala Lafia, peace and security will be guaranteed for every citizen. There cannot be development in an ambience of violence, of insecurity. In that regard, we are going to strengthen our traditional federal agencies of security. Beyond that, we're going to strengthen our Mateko and build it into a specialized force. It's going to be a neighborhood watch. I will take care of our neighborhoods. Going to be a farmland watch. I will take care of the farm plantations that we're producing for the state, because Carriage is going to bring 10,000 hectares of cultivated land to every local government of Ondo State under my watch. There's going to be campus watch, so that miscreants that have taken over the campuses will get out, and the campuses will be secure for our children and wards. There's going to be frontier watch. Those are the ones parading the boundaries of the state, so that there's no kidnapping that will be successful under my watch in Ondo State. We're going to deploy satellite technology, drone technology. We're going to train our frontier watchers as commandos. In fact, we're going to call them the Ekun Squad. Matekun is the total name. Ekun Squad, that's the peak of hunting. By the grace of God, we'll have a beautiful place, a place of pride in Ondo State.
Let me come to Barrister Dema. You have mentioned your 7 points agenda.
Yes, that's what was rural development, which are faithful. Community and rural development.
Okay, let's start with free education.
Good.
We all know that the economy is not what we all want it to be. From the federal to the state government, there's been struggling. How do you intend to, in practical terms, to do free education?
Thank you. There's this saying that if you think education is expensive, you try ignorance. In Ondo State, I was chairman of the Ondo State Oil Producing Area Development Commission, or SOPADEC. And when we were there, every year we were giving scholarship and bursary to students of the mandate area, Elijah and Ondo, who are in tertiary students. And went to the tune of about 240, 250 million naira per annum, because we have 1 year budget. So it always appears in our budget. But I have also found out, as somebody who has served in government, that for every contract that is given by Ondo State government, whether through the Works Ministry, whether through SOPADEC, whether through SUPEB, whether through local government, there's a 2% window. They call it education tax, deducted as source. What happens to this money? Forget about, take the budget for granted. I'm talking about this special fund that is deducted from all our capital projects, and take it from source. Before you pay the contractor, you deduct VAT, you deduct withholding tax. You also deduct this education tax, which is 2%. The last budget of Ondo State for 2021 is 400 billion naira. So if you do a 50-50 of capital and recurrent, it means that 2% will be about 4 billion naira. So which means we can put 4 billion as seed money. You know, a seed money is without prejudice to the budget on education itself. So which means exercise books 500 naira per 60 leaves per person. So which means if a child is in JS1 and is doing 15 subjects, that's 500 naira times 15, that's 7,500 naira for a child, maybe per term. So in any case, this 4 billion naira seed money will cater for exercise book, will cater for tuition. Because I don't know why they pay tuition. For instance, we pay the salaries and allowances of all the teachers and persons who are working in these schools. So why are you collecting tuition again from these pupils? Who utilizes the tuition? When we already have this kind of money, start somewhere, and we are not exposed. So we are going to give them tuition free exercise books, uniforms, a desk and lockers, which students in Ondo State today still buy when you are admitted into GS1. All this one will be a thing of the past. And I have seen it happen before, between 1979 and 83. Even when our economy was not as buoyant, Papa Jashi did it. We are not oil producing in 1990, in 1979 to 83. And there are other sources of funding that comes to Ondo State. So by the grace of God, upon inauguration on the 24th of February 2025, we are sending a bill to the House of Assembly to codify this as one of the sources of our Education Trust Fund law. And once we have these laws in place and the commission to handle it on an agency, we can be sure that we are going to give them education at all levels. Mind you, the federal government is already paying catapult funding for primary schools through UBEC. So it's not a 100% payment by the Ondo State government. So all we need to do at that level is also pay our counterpart from the federal government will supply its own version. You think you disagree? Because you are shaking your head, I want to know whether you disagree with the fact that I'm espousing. So now, for another level, we have to go ahead and strengthen our vocational and technical education. If you treat your vocational and technical education well, all these children, they are like people you send to the industry to go and work after 1 year of academic training, because it's supposed to be a practical approach. So if somebody is learning how to weld, for instance, can you learn welding in the classroom? Somebody is trying to be a POP or something in the BD industry. Do you learn it in the classrooms? So we are going to deploy them to the industry after 1 year of training in the technical school, because we lack capacity in these areas today. And that's why we import tilers, we import POP people from Benin Republic and Togo. We are going to feed that gap.
I beg your pardon. This education you're talking about, is it at all levels?
All levels. That's how I'm putting them from strata to strata.
Okay.
So I've talked about primary and secondary education. I've now moved to vocational and technical education. And vocational and technical education on its own can finance itself, because once you train these students, maybe 1 year or 1.5 years in the classroom, the rest 1.5 years, because they spend is a 3-year program. In fact, some are 2 years program. So all you do is that you deploy them to industries. And in the last 1.5 years, when you deploy them to industry, they will be paid stipends there. So why would they need to pay school fees to be able to access those ones? And for the university.
University?
Yeah, for the university, you think it's not doable. First of all, in the university, I can only do free education in university where I have the visitor. So the institution must belong to the government of Ondo State. Because we are going to reorganize the organizational structure so that this institution can access money from other sources apart from tuition, from research findings, from printing of journals and what have you, and other consultancy services they will be able to render to the government of Ondo State and to the whole world at large. So once they have other sources of funding, they will depend less on the tuition that our pupils, children or students should pay. But that is to say, that's not to say that if you are in Federal University of Technology Akure or University of Ife, I don't have control over those ones. So if you are students of Ondo State origin in those schools, I can only avail your scholarship and bursary and perhaps the loan that we also match with the federal government through the federal government's loan board, which has been put in place now.
Dr. Mimiko, still on education. On your agenda is also education for all. Please, you need to expatiate on that.
You see, the concept of karika is beyond just going to school. The concept of karika, human capital development. We know for a fact, it's not controvertible, that the world over, the stronger your human capital is. It's not about Adam Smith or anything now. Everybody knows that the stronger your human capital is, the more advanced your country is. Recently in Nigeria, I bought a drone for $200,000 US. I don't know how we can fathom that. We have engineers, we have very smart people here. So what I'm saying is, our karika concept is to develop a human capital to the point of self-sufficiency. Singapore doesn't have anything. Japan doesn't have mineral resources, and they're among the big economies in the world. What we are going to do is we take our primary schools. Education at the primary level is absolutely going to be free and compulsory. At junior secondary level, up to GS3, it's going to be free and compulsory. Everything paid for by government. When you get to senior...
I beg your pardon, Dr. Mimiko. Before you continue, we know that this country has a free education policy for all children of primary school age.
Exactly.
But it is not enforced. How do you plan to enforce that?
Well,
make sure that every parent sends their child of primary school age to school.
I'm going to lead from the front. It's going to be a criminal offense to have a child that is supposed to be in school in Ondo State, not in school. The parents are going to be held accountable for that. Primary education will be free and compulsory. Secondary education up to GS3, free and compulsory. Senior secondary school, free and compulsory. But not every child can go beyond GS3. There are some, by virtue of their skills or by virtue of their limitations, will need to go to vocational training. We are not doing vocational centers. We're going to do direct artisan college. What do I mean by that? We send a child who wants to learn to be a tiler to someone who is a guru in tiling. He signs up, we pay him stipend every day for staying on the job, so he doesn't go and drive Okada to feed himself or ride Okada to feed himself. The teacher that is training him is being paid for the services rendered. Upon completion of his training, the equipment, the machinery is going to be bought by the government. Now, for those who go beyond secondary education, going to tertiary education, we are going to have free tuition. We're going to have subsidized tuition, not free tuition, for our tertiary institutions. We're going to pay them robust bursaries. We're going to make sure we put Wi-Fi on every campus because there's a limitation on the library content of universities and colleges of education now. We give them free Wi-Fi so that they can access libraries from around the world to do their homework, their research. We are going to make sure we put what we call a food bank. It's part of our Carriage project. A food bank on campuses where our children will take their citizenship card to the food bank and buy foodstuff at highly subsidized rates. We are going to commission new classrooms and new hostels for them. They're being packed like sardines in hostels. Deplorable situation. I don't know how we can be so heartless about the way we treat our children in the universities and colleges. We are going to commission new classrooms. We're going to commission new hostels for them. Now, we are going to make sure their lecturers, their professors, their doctors of letters, the master's degree holders that are instructing them are going to be robustly remunerated in Ondo State. Our payments will be among the best, if not the best in the country. Because a country, a state will never grow beyond the capability of its educational system. Now, what we are going to do is the lecturers will be well paid, allowances such as research grant, allowances to travel and present papers all over the world. We're going to make sure that research is translated into functional work in Ondo State. So for example, you've researched how to use this seed maker or this planter, for example. We're not just going to leave it at the level of theory. We're going to bring it to the praxis of everyday life in Ondo State. We're going to give them things like staff school, allowances to have vehicles and things like that. The whole idea is that we want an Ondo State that will be self-sufficient. We call it circular economy. We are going to produce sunshine. Ondo State, our logo is Sunshine State, right? You are Sunrise. We're Sunshine State. We're going to produce Ondo State. We're going to sell Ondo State. We're going to buy Ondo State. What do I mean by that? In a circular economy, you see, my brother was talking about federal allocation. I understand that allocation is important. It's a paltry sum. What we will make in terms of productivity in Ondo State is going to be stupendous. That we won't even need federal allocation to do the things we have in mind.
I beg your pardon, Doctor. We need to manage our time.
Yes.
And we want to cover as much grounds as possible. We only have about 8 minutes left. Okay. And we still have a whole list of things that you want to do for your state. Yes. Now, let me stay with you. You spoke about free healthcare. Please, in a nutshell, in about 2 minutes only, tell us how you intend to achieve that.
Currently, pregnant women die in Ondo State. Pregnancy shouldn't be a death sentence. Every woman that gets pregnant in Ondo State is going to have free maternal care up to delivery, even if they have to undergo cesarean section. They do it for 400,000 naira now in government hospitals in Ondo State. Number two.
They will get it for free?
Free, absolutely free.
Okay.
It was done during the Iroko era, and we knew how it was done. And it's not an expensive project. It's going to be brought back. Number two, every child born in Ondo State, up until they're 6 years of age, all medical care will be on the state. Because I'm a medical doctor. This is the critical time of their lives. Once you miss it, you miss the bus.
Sorry, let me come in here. How is the state under you if you get to be the governor? How is the state going to provide the funds for all of this that you've mentioned? You talked about internally generated revenue. Right now, it's about, I think, 40 billion or something.
3 to 4 billion.
Only.
No, as at last year, yes.
For the whole year.
Yes. So how do you intend to get the funding for this? Because if you say it will be free, it will be free, it will be free, you know, when we say it sounds good.
These are well-researched things I'm talking about. I'll give you an example. Let me just complete my thought. Elderly people 70 and above will have basic medical care on the state. I'm a medical doctor. I know most of their problems are diabetes, hypertension, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and all whatnot. We can take care of those. Now, how do we intend to fund? It's not difficult. You see, once we have this mindset, which the president is trying to take us away from, allocation has doubled. The governor of Ondo State is not doing anything with it that is tangible. Once we get out of this mindset of everything has to be done from Abuja, we're going to do Karije, for example. Our comparative advantage is in agriculture, is in young, vibrant population that can work and earn. For example, in under Karije alone, we're having 5,000 to 10,000 hectares of cultivated land per local government. On the catfish farming we are going to do alone, we are going to make 8 billion naira a month.
Okay.
So there's
on farming.
Your free healthcare.
Yeah, my free healthcare.
How do you intend to go about it, and how do you intend to fund it?
Thank you. Currently, there's this
2 minutes only.
Yeah, currently there's this orange contributory pension and insurance scheme for health. How much they earn, what they do, we don't know. It is shrouded in secrecy. But I know that if we do our database very well, especially we are going to reenact and reactivate the one called Kadigbeayo, which was put in place by the last but one administration. That is during Mimiko era. And that's how we start our database, which means that if the contributory insurance scheme is put in place properly, if we because the estimated population of Ondo State today is about 5 million people, and the working population cannot be less than 2.5 million, therefore. If we have a working population of 2.5 million, and we can capture 1 million of this in the Kadigbeayo scheme, and because currently they still pay this insurance I'm talking about. How much they pay, how they utilize it, we don't know. But if we put an average insurer, a health insurer, as 15,000 naira per person per annum, in 1 million, that's 50 billion naira. You can check it. So 15 billion, there is no consultant who cannot pay. There's no nurse who cannot pay. There's no equipment. And these are intervention fundings without prejudice to our original budget, which we still put some headings under the Ministry of Health and Hospitals Management Board. So we have done a lot of research into it, well-researched about the sources of our funding. And by the time we industrialize, mind you, because the deep sea port is already, the license for deep sea port in Ondo State is secured. All we need to do is to bring in people who will be our technical partners to power it. That deep sea port alone, we hire nothing less than 100,000 persons directly. Indirectly, maybe another 200,000. Therefore, there will be need to have buildings for them. Infrastructure will have to be developed for them so that the place. So all this one will now bring some kind of idea in terms of payee and other taxes to the people of Ondo State. We will finance it using all these methodologies that we have put in place. So free health is doable, and by the grace of God, we are going to do it. We are not going to separate anybody. We are not going to be divisive about it. It's a policy of government of Ondo State. Once you are from conception to the grave, we will cater for you by the grace of God.
Okay, staying with you. Security.
Security, like we said.
1 minute.
Yeah. Amoteku is already in place. And that's why I give credit to our late governor who conceived the idea of Amoteku. But for Amoteku, bandits were already going to people's house to kidnap. But to the glory of God, when Amoteku, that's the Western State Security Agency, was established, the issue of kidnapping went down. All we now need to do, therefore, is to improve on Amoteku using technology. He has talked about drones and other facilities that we can use. But you said one thing about security, first of all, prevention, and detection and prevention. If you have a lot of intels, you will find out that when people are conceiving the idea of criminality, you already know, and you bust it, and you nip it at the bud. But peradventure, it happens. How do people find out who did what? It's because a lot of people participate in criminality because they are never caught. Okay. And so once you are caught through technology, a lot of people will desist and suffer the deterrence or
security.
You're giving me half of the time total of my brother.
No, you have taken more time.
1 minute. 1 minute.
I want you to note that. Security, we have Kala Lafia. It can be 1 minute. Kala Lafia.
We got to go when we got to go.
Kala Lafia, the idea is to secure the states that investors can come and people can live in peace. We've said about Tekun. Let me just cite an example. Kidnapping is rampant in Ondo State. We are going to have Frontier Watch in Amatekun. What we do is we hire bright young kids, train them properly, equip them with drones. So, for example, a kidnapping alert goes off in one of the local governments. An amber alert goes off across the state. Everybody is hearing on television, on radio, on your cell phone that a woman 35 years of age wearing red gele, blue hero is kidnapped. Immediately the frontier force there goes into high action. They are equipped. So what we're saying, these are practical
Dr. Mimiko, this sounds like a utopia.
It is not utopia. We have viable, you see, when governance is not being operated at the level of excellence, that's why with everything sounds like utopia in Nigeria. I'm telling you, this is doable, it will be done. There's no question about it that we're going to reduce kidnapping to zero. Kidnapper keeps your cell phone. There are technologies that will track your cell phone, even when you shut it off.
But we have that technology right now, and it's not working too much for us.
I'm going to lead. I'm not talking for Nigeria. Talking for Ondo State.
Okay, we are actually totally out of this time, but I don't know if you can do it in 30 seconds. Yes. If any of the over 2 million registered voters in Ondo State are watching now, what would you like to leave with them before the election day?
On the 16th of November, first of all, come and vote for Dema of the NNPP, because looking at my manifesto, we have the best, and it has practical applications. We're not talking about utopians now. We're talking about we are going to do this. Are we going to get funding for it? And what are the methodologies in place to do it?
Dr. Mimiko.
That is practical, and I expect them to trust me.
You will vote ZLP Labour Party because we are thinking out of the box. We're going to make Ondo State the most productive, the most engaged state in the whole country. Everybody will come to learn from Ondo State when I'm governor, by the grace of God.
Dr. Abbas Mimiko of the Zenith Labour Party, as well as Honorable Gbenga Dema of the NNPP, New Nigeria People's Party, both governorship candidates in the upcoming elections in Ondo State next week. Well, the candidates seem to be ready. We hope that INEC is also ready and that we will have a hitch-free election come the 16th of November. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming to sell your manifesto to the people of Ondo State.
Thank you. You still need one more debate in Ondo State.
Before
for fairness.
Or before 14th.
Thank you very much. Sunrise will be right back in just a moment. Do stay with us.